Boy, another tax for you, huh? Because that's what you need to stimulate. You know, it's such an anti-stimulus thing. These people are bringing you depression. They're warning, I mean, they're doing terroristic things. I think trying to get political change by threats and intimidation is what they call terrorism, right? And yet your president and all your new people come up there, and if we don't do this week, we got to do it right now. We got to sign this stimulus package that we don't read. 1,100 pages, 1,170. And you know the other one, as soon as they signed it, where they gave the Treasury Secretary the right to grab any bank and any business and nationalize it, and now they're talking about nationalizing the banks. Now these same globalists through your medias, your Times and your Newsweeks and stuff, and your ABCs, NBCs, CBSs, MSNBCs are saying, you know, maybe a global bank. Maybe that's what we need. And then they're, New World Order, we need a New World Order. Yeah. Haven't you heard this before? How many times do you have to hear it? How many times do you need me to ask you? So, a little thought for you this week. I guess something like 22 states have put bills forward in their own state legislatures to reinforce their sovereignty, because they understand that something's wrong. Something's not right. It doesn't smell right. It doesn't seem right. Something about the federal government's not right. People forget that it's the United States of America, and that it was the sovereign states who decided to unite. Not the federal government that decided to create the states. No, it was the other way around, wasn't it? Yeah. And they all of a sudden are, you know, creating legislation and passing it. 9 of the 22 have already passed it, and 22 states have bills right now that, once again, are saying, hey, we're sovereign. Even if you pass unconstitutional laws, we're not going to abide by them because we're our own sovereign state. This is really important for you. Kind of strange, you don't hear it on the news, huh? What do you hear on the news? You hear about the monkey that ripped the lady's face off because we're keeping you distracted, aren't we? What's the big news for you? That's interesting news. So anyway, the state sovereignty thing, rather interesting. You know, let's go New Hampshire, Washington State, Oklahoma. I think the last time Oklahoma did it, didn't they blow up that Murrah building? And they blamed it on a couple of guys, and there was a van, but once again, just like 9/11, the pieces didn't fit. The stories didn't jive. The #1 cop in Oklahoma, one cop of the year, he said he saw them carrying bombs out of the building after the explosion. That the BATF, the Bureau of Alcohol, Firearms, and Tobacco, and now BATF-E, explosives, that they were already in their bomb suits. And he arrived within a minute of the bomb. How do you get in a suit that quick? And he saw them carrying bombs out, and all of a sudden, he gets double tapped in the head. The #1 cop in Oklahoma City. And who was the Attorney General, Assistant Helper guy, whatever they're over there? Eric Holder. Isn't he our new Attorney General? Yeah, these crooks don't move too far too fast, do they? They like to stay in power. And Eric Holder, that Attorney General, we got to go into more Obama stuff. I'm not going to go Obama on you right now. We got to talk more. We're bringing back Obama's cabinet for you. So anyway, we talked about Massachusetts and how they'd have to put some form of tracking and thing in place so that you could track. I mean, we could track every mile you went because you're free. Yeah. You have to show us your papers 5 times before you fly. We can put you on a no-fly list and not tell you why. We're not telling you why, but you're on a no-fly. And then we're going to, change the gun laws? Because if you're on the no-fly list, which 20,000 Americans get put on every month, hey, if they're guilty, if they're bad people, let's arrest them. Charge them, like it says in the Constitution, okay? Let them see the people that, what's the Fourth Amendment say? I get to see my accusers. I get to see the evidence. I get to question my accusers. I mean, I get some justice. But no, you're no flying now, huh? And if you say anything bad, boy, they put you right on that list, don't they? Okay, so anyway, yeah. I told you it might be worth considering the future and what you would need. What will you need in the future? What if your dollars don't buy you anything? What if after stealing all your money and enslaving you, they decide to take your pensions too? That's right. Congress was just talking about that, huh? They want to consolidate and grab everybody's 401k and everybody's IRA, and they're going to watch it for you. They're the ones who, who, while California was getting ripped off by Enron, yes, our executive guys were having meetings with them, patting them on the back. Hey, good job over there, you energy management folks and stuff. They ripped California off blind. That's how they got rid of Gray Davis in California, to bring you Arnold, who does what? Who wears belt buckles, from the SS. He's on the cover of your magazines. Arnold, he's going to help you. So now the girly man is doing what? He's raising taxes. they're not stopping spending. They're not cutting back. They're not saying, hey, we grew too big. We just grew too big, and now there's nothing left of the people. We've sucked them dry. No, they're going to say, we're going to continue to suck you. And if you complain, we're going to track you. And then we're going to listen to your phone calls without a warrant, because warrantless wiretapping is in. Obama's here. So I was going back. During Obama's campaign thing, I got to hit this because it makes me think of Obama. And that is, he says, I'm going to get our troops out of Iraq. And everybody goes for him because he's going to be like the anti-war guy. And he comes in, and then he says, well, we're going to look at it in 6 months. Then it becomes 16 months. Then 24 months. Then I'm going to move a bunch over into Afghanistan. Like, what do you need your sons and daughters in Afghanistan for? They're a real threat. Last time I checked, oh, wait, there may be a cave over there. So that the CIA guy, Osama bin Laden, Bush's buddies, so that we can go hunting him. Do you buy all these lies? Do you buy the lie? That's a good one. Do you buy the lie? Would you like some more of the lie? You turn on the TV, you get more lies. I had to sing that one for you. I'll be working on that one. So, we covered some news. The stimulus, that gets me. I'm sorry. I feel unstimulated. And you're talking to a guy who's had a lot of stimulus. All right. Other things I have for you. Rather interesting. It's funny, with all the attacks that are going to soon be coming on the Second Amendment, mark my words, okay, besides them making you poor, they're going to attack your Second Amendment. They don't like the Constitution. They don't like it so much, they're going to train your law enforcement that anybody mentions the Constitution, let alone carries a pocket one. Citizen Rule Book has U.S. Constitution in it. That they're to be, they're to be watched extra careful. They're to be, let's watch them. They might believe in the rule of law. And that, once again, what was the Constitution? It's the thing that the states agreed on to unite them. And if we start dissolving and taking away the Constitution, what's going to happen? What's happened in the past when things like that happen? The thought being, I did a Second Amendment show, or at least a piece on the Second Amendment, and I showed something from the Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership. By the way, guys, great job. And I got a little bit of feedback on it, and I thought about it, and I'm like, gee, propaganda, they say, when you think of Goebbels or whatever, propaganda was to move people politically, to sway their opinions politically. Whereas I do a show on the Second Amendment, and that's a constitutional thing. That's a law thing. That's going, hey, this is the law. And it's funny how people, whether they fear it or whether they've been conditioned over years to think, oh, guns are bad. Oh, the guns, oh, bad guns. We got to have, once again, reasonable. Isn't that what Rahm, the dual citizen Emmanuel, tells you? Reasonable. And Obama, I'm sure he's for reasonable gun control. Meanwhile, they're building camps to hold millions of Americans. Meanwhile, they're wiretapping. Meanwhile, they're tracking. Meanwhile, they're making no-fly lists. Meanwhile, they have paramilitary forces not answerable to the people, Blackwater. Meanwhile, Northcom, if you read the Army Times, September 8th, tells you what? We're going to put American troops on the streets of America, and they're going to put down dissent. Quell, I believe is the term. You ever been quelled by an army? Are they quelling over in Iraq right now? And who are they going to have? They're going to be recycling people that came in from Iraq. And this is real good quelling, I'm sure. They're professional quellers. So Army Times, September 8th, read the Army Times. It's an issue. It's a thing put out by the Army. And meanwhile, going to put Army on your streets. They've already started you getting used to checkpoints, right? Sobriety checkpoints. Yeah, who funded those? So this group of criminals, district of criminals, have now started to go on beyond. The machine's going faster. This New World Order thing, they're starting to go, what? We can take them down economically. We can steal and steal and steal from them and squeeze you and squeeze you and squeeze you until there's nothing left for your children. Until your children don't have freedom of speech. They have free speech zones with barbed wire and fences. Oh yeah, they got those camps. Yeah. What else are we going to have for our children? Not the right to defend themselves. Oh no, we can't let them have the Second Amendment because unhappy people, when they found out they've been ripped off by banksters, might get upset. Yeah,